Zephyrfish! We made it back in one piece! Next stop, the Underworld!
Now it's time for us to venture to the Underworld, mainly so we can do some lava fishing. There is a lot of cool stuff you can get from lava fishing, so as usual we employ the fish bombs to blast ourselves down. With the help of the bomb fish, it's not long before we arrive in the Underworld.
Well, this looks like the Underworld to me, Zephyrfish. This is a truly dreaded place.
We collect a Hellforge so we can later craft some molten armor, taking the time to collect any lava critters so we can later use those for lava fishing. We get boned before swiftly returning the boning. We get the Demon Scythe from our very first demon kill, which would be super lucky if we weren't locked into fish. We also mine any hellstone that's close enough to the surface, again so we can later use that to craft molten armor, which will give us a huge power boost considering we've hardly been using armor at all so far. We catch more lava bugs, and then do some crazy parkour to kill a lava bat. More bugs, more lava bats, and of course, more demons. I mine more hellstone whilst anguishing over the fact that I can't open any of these obsidian chests because I am yet to venture into the dungeon for a shadow key. I then get jumped by all the hell mobs at once and decide to go full Rockstar Doomslayer mode and chainsaw some demons with the Sawtooth Shark. I continue the hellstone mining and the demon slaying before being exsanguinated by a bat. So far I've collected barely any lava bugs, so I come up with a plan to build some NPC houses down here in the Underworld. Now NPCs block enemy spawn rates and those block spawns are replaced with critter spawns instead, but as we're building our houses, our very first voodoo demon crashes the party. I really want to avoid summoning the wall of flesh at this point, so I carefully dispose of the demon. We get the guide voodoo doll, which gives us one shot at the wall of flesh later on. I then finish off the NPC houses before being attacked by our second voodoo demon. After carefully destroying him, I build a second NPC house and place the angler there, which I'm sure makes you all very happy. I decide to explore more of the Underworld whilst waiting for the NPCs to move in. And I reach the end of the Underworld and start collecting some ashwood for some building later. We then get attacked by our third voodoo demon, which means we'll have quite a few attempts at the wall of flesh when the time comes.
I have explored until the ends of the Underworld, and I have found nothing that could trigger Cthulhu's return to Earth. There's nothing but screams and hellfire here. Perhaps the Gnomes of Truth were wrong. Or perhaps I'm missing something. I must ask the others if they know anything about Cthulhu, and the proper course of events as described by the gnomes.
The blood moon rises, so I decide to return to base to harvest some deathweed, which only blooms during a blood moon or a full moon. And of course, I can't just have a blood moon without waging holy war on the zombie mermen. So I get the massacre started, and to my absolute surprise, actually succeed in killing one. I then get jumped by a shark and his jellyfish cronies, probably upset about the absolute genocide I inflicted on them last episode. After that, I return to butchering the zombie mermen. The sharks just won't let it go, but they don't stand a chance. I get the clutch victory against our second zombie merman, who drops us a vampire frog staff. Now I may use this when I'm building, just to keep mobs off me whilst I'm building. I know I'm supposed to be limited to fish in this playthrough, but come on, frogs are basically fish with legs. We also get the diving helmet and the jellyfish necklace from this little escapade, which is incredibly lucky, but also incredibly stupid considering all the time I farmed for them last episode. We then return to the Underworld since all our NPCs have now moved in. We chug a battle potion to increase the critter spawn rates and prepare to go on a bug catching rampage. Which means it's time for... Yeah, it's a dramatic bug catching montage. Our plan works better than expected, and we collect a bunch of lava bugs.
Goblin, I must ask you something.
Yes.
What's that? Ah, yes, your favor. You want to call it in now? Well, I must say, now isn't the best time. What's that? You wish for me to rescue an oily maiden from a dark and terrible dungeon. I understand. I once had an oily maiden myself. Her name was Sardine, and she was the oiliest fish in all the ocean. She's gone now, killed by a zombie merman. Zombie merman, your extinction will come. Goblin, your tale moves me. I will help you, but first I need to prepare.
I deploy some bomb fish in order to create a larger lava pool for fishing, and then take a bomb fish to the face. Once our fishing area is complete, we begin fishing. No more fishing montages.
It's me, Guppy the Gallant, and I say, if you want to keep up with my adventures, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
We get quite a lot of crates and then pop them open. We get the lava fishing hook instantly, which means all our lava bug catching was completely pointless, since we can now use regular bait to fish in lava. After a little more fishing, we return to base, and you can see we also got the lava absorbent sponge, which is useful, but it's still no demon conch or bottomless lava bucket. We craft the lava proof tackle bag, and then pop open the rest of our crates. We get at least one thing we were after, which is the superheated blood, which gives us our very first fishy mount.
Whee! A mighty steed, and the envy of Neptune himself.
We then collect some obsidian so we can later smelt that together with our hellstone and finally upgrade our armor. And we did catch some fairies on our way over here, and they will be useful for some building a little bit later on. I craft my hellstone bars at the Demon Forge and then craft some molten armor, which is some of the best melee boosting armor at this stage of the game. I even decide to do some reforging. Okay, unpleasant, that will do. I know better than to gamble with this guy. Now the reason we're powering up is because I do want to take on the Queen Bee. I do want the hive wand she drops for some building later on. But first I decide that I'm simply not happy with my lava fishing efforts so far, so I return to fish up the demon conch. After an unpleasantly long time, we finally get it, which means we can now travel to the Underworld a lot easier. I arrive at the beehive and build a small arena. I'm feeling brave, so I do turn the difficulty up to expert mode and bomb the queen larvae to begin the fight. Okay, I'm feeling pretty confident about this. Our clubberfish is now unpleasant, so we've got an extra 6% damage boost. And we have the molten gear, so this shouldn't be too hard. Wow, that wasn't even the queen bee that took us out. It was some lone thug minion bee. I think I'll stick to classic mode for now. We craft the Abomination to summon her for round 2.
You may have bested me once, Queen Bee, but now I'm going to show you the true meaning of royalty.
Since we've now gone back to classic mode like a disgusting coward, the fight goes a lot better this time. I think this warrants some dramatic music. Queen Bee finally falls, and we also get super lucky and get the Hive Wand first try, which is exactly what we were looking for. Now this is a guaranteed drop on Expert or Master Mode, but in Classic it is only a 33% chance, so we did get super lucky here. The Witch Doctor moves in as soon as Queen Bee has been defeated, so we purchase an imbuing station, which will allow us to create flasks that buff our fish weapons. Now we can get round to building our honey fishing area. Now I'm absolutely disgusted that we're still drinking health potions this far into the game, and it's about time they were replaced with fish. Honeyfin are fish caught in honey, and they replenish 120 HP upon use, which makes them even better than the regular health potions we can get at this stage of the game. So as usual, I start blasting, until I'm left with a neat little bowl shape that I can fill with honey. And then we encounter our first ever pinky slime. This really is the episode of crazy good luck, and quite frankly, it makes me uncomfortable. The crazy luck continues as we come across the mystic frog whilst collecting mahogany wood in the jungle. The unlucky part is that we don't have any purification powder on us to turn it into the mystic slime. With pitiful hope and desperation, we attempt to catch it with the bug net, but it is indeed futile. We return to building our honey pond. The idea is that we're going to build a tree on this little mound and have a giant bee nest attached to it, leaking honey into the pool below. We needed the hive wand from the Queen Bee to be able to place hive blocks and build our bee nest. We collected a few strange plants from our world hopping last episode, so we can build a pretty decent tree, and the luck continues again and we catch a golden butterfly. Right, this looks just getting disturbing at this point. I then notice this gnome, which at the time I had no idea how he got here, but it turns out we accidentally created a gnome farm. And then we get a second gnome. Because gnomes can spawn in front of naturally generated dirt walls, it means they're spawning up here on the surface and instantly being petrified. With our tree finished, we start creating our beehive. We fill the center with honey until we get this beautiful honey fall effect. Then we use our bottomless honey bucket, which we got from all the angler quests, to fill the pond. After a few finishing touches, we get yet another pinky slime. Now, I really don't understand what's going on with this look, but I'm starting to get scared. This is quite unusual for me. Finally, our honey fishing area is complete. We have the tree, a little shack on the side, and the tiny little fishing barge. With no time to waste, we buff up and begin fishing. In one fishing session, I managed to get over 100 honeyfin, and these will be our healing items for the rest of the game, and we can finally throw these fishless healing potions into the trash where they belong. With our new armor, reforged weapon, shark mount, and healing fish, we are ready to take on Skeletron. But first, I do a little more bombfish bombardment so we can create a bigger pond. The plan is to lure Skeletron to this area, and then use our enhanced water mobility to defeat him.
Ah, kindly old man. I'm here to rescue an oily wench from this dungeon. Point me to her location or step aside. Well, of course, nothing's ever easy.
So we've taken nearly 25% of our health damage before even making it to the pond, which isn't great. Finally, it's go time. It doesn't go as smoothly as expected. He still gets quite a lot of hits in. The pond is a little too small. But once his hands are destroyed, the fight goes a lot easier. Now that was stylish. Oops, we've beached ourselves. That's not good. I call that one the dolphin dive. I attempt and fail a few more dolphin dives. And Skeletron finally sinks to the depths where he belongs. And we are once again boned. Now it's time to enter the dungeon. I swipe a water candle from a shelf. It may come in handy later for farming. I do a little looting as the clothier arrives, and then stumble across the mechanic.
Finally, I've found you. You're quite oily indeed. Be free from your bonds and follow me from this dreaded place.
I purchase various wire materials, which I'll need for some things I have planned for my main base. I craft an actuation rod, and return to the goblin.
I'm glad you are reunited. Now I must visit a person I've not spoken to in a very long time.
Because we've killed a boss, it's now a lantern night, which means we can catch some enchanted nightcrawlers. They aren't useful for bait anymore, but we can use them for builds. And then it's time to start our main base, which of course will be on the ocean. First we'll need to destroy our temporary barge. But we get interrupted again by suspiciously good luck with a golden bunny spawn. And since I'm now trying to build something, we of course get a blood moon. But luckily for us, we are now the luckiest person on Earth and we get the shark tooth necklace. And whilst organising my chests, I noticed that we also got the dirtiest block pet at some point. Now there are only 6 of these on a medium world, so they are super rare. I suspect we probably got it when we were clearing space for the Amber Gemcorn farm in the first episode. And I've built up a simple skeleton of what the town will look like with wood. And now I want to add in a neon sign. I want this place to be beach/industrial themed, with a hint of magical thrown in there. We get yet another pinky slime, which doesn't even surprise me at this point. And after buying a lottery ticket, I return to building, only to be interrupted by a slime rain and, yes, you guessed it, yet another pinky slime.
It's been a long time since we last spoke, Sardine. I've been busy as of late. I brought you some orange coral. It always was your favorite. Sardine, I've come to say that your death will still be avenged. Things are different now. I have warriors, allies to lead against the mermen. I found Cod Town in your honor, and with our new combined strength, I will march an army against the mermen and eradicate them. Every last one!